बोलिए श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। बोलिए श्री रामचंद्र की जय। बोलिए श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। Jai Jai Sitaram. Cordial welcome, devotees, to each and every one of you joining with us this morning as we engage in our Sunday devotion. I do apologize for us being a little bit tardy this morning, a little bit late, as you know, we encountered a little bit of challenges getting here this morning. However, we are here and we all set to begin our devotion. So those who are joining us at home, if you do have flowers, please take a flower in your hand. If not, we all clasp our hands, we close our eyes, we bow our heads, we focus our minds at the feet of Shri Krishna as we do our invocation prayer. Hari Om. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Guru Charan Kamale Bhyo Namaha. Om Shamno Mitra Sham Varuna Shamno Bhavatu Aryamam Shamno Indro Brihaspati Shamno Vishnu Rurukramam. Namo Brahmane Namaste Vaya Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmase Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Varishyami Ritam Varishyami Satyam Varishyami Tanamam Avatu Tarvaktaram Avatu Mam Avatu Vaktaram. Om Dhyo Shantihi Antarikshagam Shantihi Prithvihi Shantihi Apah Shantihi Osharaya Shantihi Vanaspataya Shantihi Vishvirevah Shantihi Brahma Shantihi Sarvagam Shantihi Shantirevah Shanti Samah Shantiridhi. Those who are participating in puja, please chant your Rashi names in your mind. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Vishnur Vishnur Vishnu Namah Paramatmane Shri Puran Purushotam Adya Shri Brahmano Nidvitya Pararhi Shri Shveta Varaha Kalpe Vaivasvat Manvantarim Ashtavinashati Tame Kaliyuge Kali Prathama Charani Bhuloke Jambudvipe Kanida Varshis Kabro Grami Baudhavatarim शुभ मासे शुभ पक्षे शुभ तिथि अमुक नामस्य मुक गोत्रम नाम हम दैहिक दैविक भौतिक तापत्रयति श्री कृष्ण भगवान हवन पूजनम संकल्पम करिष्ये. Offer a flower. We now do pavitra. We sprinkle the water on our altar area 3 times. Om apavitrah pavitro va sarvavasthangato apiva yasmarit pundarekaksham sabahyabhya antaram suchi. Om Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu. We bow to our altar 3 times, envisioning that we are bowing down to Dharti Mata, Mother Earth. Om Shamashvame Padasparsham Shamashile Parat Pare Ram Krishnadikanantvam Mata Pritave Namostute. We bow to the ground, we take our seat. Om Pritave Tvayatrita Loka Devi Tvam Vishnunadrita Tvam Chadharyamam Nityam Pavitram Kuru Chasanamiti Asanam Samarpayami. Prem se aasan lijiye, please have your seats. As we prepare ourselves now to invoke the presence and blessings of Panch Mahadevta, again those who do have flowers, please take a flower in your hand. And firstly, we meditate and contemplate upon that most divine and beautiful form of Gajanana Swami, Adi Pujya, Prathama Pujya, as we seek his presence and blessing this morning. Hari Om. गणानां त्वगणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पदानां शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सेधसाधनम् ॐ एकदन्ताय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्ति प्रचोदयात्। ॐ गङ्गणपतये नमः। ॐ गङ्गणपतये नमः। ॐ गङ्गणपतये नमः। बोली श्री गजानन स्वामी की जय। We now focus our minds upon Devi Mata in the form of Adi Shakti, Durga Mata. Om Sarvamangal Mangalye Shive Sarvarth Sadhike Sharanye Trayambike Gauri Narayani Namostute या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। ॐ दुं दुर्गाय नमः। ॐ दुं दुर्गाय नमः। ॐ दुं दुर्गाय नमः। बोली श्री आदि शक्ति दुर्गा माता की जय। We now focus our minds at the feet of Shiv Shankar Bhagwan. Om तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे महादेवाय धीमहि तन्नो रुद्र प्रचोदयात्। विश्वेश्वर नमस्तुभ्यं विश्वात्मा विश्वकर्मकृत् विश्वभुग् विश्वमायुष्वं विश्वक्रीडारते प्रभु। ॐ नमः शिवाय। ॐ नमः शिवाय। ॐ नमः शिवाय। बोली श्री महापति महादेव की जय। We do humble prostrations and salutations to Shri Surya Narayana Swami. Om Bhaskaraaya Vidmahe Divakaraaya Dhimahi तन्ना सूर्य प्रचोदयात्। ओम आदिदेव नमस्तुभ्यं प्रसीदा मम भास्कर। दिवाकर नमस्तुभ्यं प्रभाकर नमोस्तुते। ओम सूर्याय नमः। ओम सूर्याय नमः। ओम सूर्याय नमः। बोलिए श्री सूर्य नारायण स्वामी के जय। We now focus our minds upon that Supreme Lord in the form of Shri Mahavishnu Bhagavan, Shri Krishna Bhagavan. Shantakaram bhujagshayanam पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभांगं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिभिर्ध्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णु भवभयहरणं सर्वलोकैकनाथम्। ॐ कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपाकुमाराय श्री गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरु। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। बोली श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। So now we engage in making offerings unto Shri Krishna. So those who are doing puja at home, please join us in offering. Firstly, we'll offer water. Hari Om Gange Yamune Chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalyasmin Sinidim Kurum Shri Krishna Bhagavan Argyam Padyam Snanam Samarpayami. We now offer Chandan. Om Shri Khanda Chandanang Divyam Gandharyo Samanuharam Vilepanam Surshreshtang Shri Krishna Bhagavan Chandanang Samarpayami. We offer a pushpa flower. Om Malyadini Sugandheni Malyatadini Vai Prabhu Mahiritani Pujartam Pushpani Pratigrihyatam Shri Krishna Bhagavan Pushpam Samarpayami. We offer Gandha essence. Om Gandham Grihan Devesha Deva Deva Dayanadhi Tvameva Jagatam Natistva Tvameva Jagatam Prabhu Shri Krishna Bhagavan Gandham Samarpayami. We offer deep light arti. Hari Om Sajam Chavarti Sanyuktam Vahnina Yojitam Maya Deepam Grihan Devesh Trailukyam Timirapaham. Boli Shri Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. If you prepared a Naivedya, Prasad, to offer to Shri Krishna, please hold it in your hands at this time. Firstly, passing the water around 3 times. Om Mandakinyastu Yadvari Sarva Papaharam Shubham Taridam Kalapitam Devam Samyagya Achmanyatvam Tvaya. We all pray in our own words to Shri Krishna as we make this humble offering of love and devotion. We ask you, Prabhu, to accept it and to shower your grace and blessings upon all. Hari Om Gritpakvang Havishainam Paisham Chasharakara Nana Vidhan Naivedyam Shri Krishna Bhagavan Naivedyam Samarpayami. Om Harir Data Harir Bhukta Harir Annam Prajapati Harir Vipra Sharirastu Bhukte Bhojayate Hare. Boli Shri Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Touch the prasad to your murti, touch to your head. Say Shri Krishna Arpanam. If you do have flowers, tulsi leaf in your prasad, you can offer it while chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So now we offer water to Shri Krishna. Om Sarva Pap Haram Devam Gangeyam Nirmalam Jalam Achmanyam Chamaya Dattam Grihan Parameshwaram Shri Krishna Bhagavan Achmanyam Samarpayami. If you prepare the dakshina to offer to Shri Krishna, you can offer it at this time. Om Nakpal Supal Maulavi Vanditangre Yugala Prabhu Hare Dakshinang Pradeshri Krishna Bhagavan Danam Dakshinaye Samarpayami. Boliye Shri Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. So at this time, devotees, as we are accustomed to, we'll join in singing praises to Gajanana Swami, after which we'll have our mantra jap havan. Very beautiful bhajans reminding us that each and every day we should not forget to pay obeisance, to do our prostrations to the feet of Gajanana Swami. Nishadin Namo Ganapati Charan, Nishadin Namo Ganapati Charan, Ganapati Charan Jagduk Haran, Ganapati Charan
Jagduk Haran,
Nishadin Namo Ganapati Charan,
Nishadin Namo Ganapati Charan.
संताप सब मन के हरे, मंगल सदा गणपति करे। संताप सब मन के हरे,
मंगल सदा गणपति करे।
मन कर रहा प्रातः स्मरण, मन कर रहा प्रातः स्मरण। निश दिन नमो गणपति चरण,
निषिदिन नमो गणपति चरण।
बल बोधि के तुम देवता, भव भक्ति हृदय सेवता। बल बोधि के तुम देवता, भव
भक्ति हृदय सेवता।
शंकर सुवन तारन तरन, शंकर सुवन तारन तरन। निश दिन नमो गणपति चरण,
निषिदिन नमो गणपति चरण।
तुम्हारी कृपा पे अंत है, दीनों पे तू दयावंत है। तुम्हारी कृपा पे अंत है,
दीनों पे तू दयावंत है।
हम आ गए तेरे शरण, हम आ गए तेरे शरण। निश दिन नमो गणपति चरण,
निषिदिन
गणपति चरण जग दुख हरन, गणपति चरण जग दुख हरन, निश दिन नमो गणपति चरण, निश दिन नमो गणपति चरण, निश दिन नमो गणपति चरण। बोलिए श्री गजानन स्वामी की जय। So at this time, devotees, we'll be engaging in our mantra jap havan. So those who are performing havan with us at home, please sit before your havan kun, and as I chant this mantra, we will ignite the fire. Harihi Om Bhurabhuva Swaha Om Bhurabhuva Swaha Dhayuriva Bhumna Prithviva Varimna Tasyaste Prithvi Devaya Janim Prishti Aganim Anaram Anarayadadhi. Boliye Shri Agni Devta ki Jai. We now begin making our offerings. Firstly, pass the water 3 times. Harihi Om Mandakinyastu Yadvari Sarva Papaharam Shubham Taridam Kalapitam Devam Samyagya Achmanyatvam Tvaya iti Achmanyam Samarpayami. At the recitation of Swaha, we offer small amounts of ghee into the havan, also reciting Swaha. Om Shri Ganesh Devtabhyo Namah Swaha. Om Ganganapataye Namah Swaha. Om Ganganapataye Namah Swaha. Om Shri Gauri Mataye Namah Swaha. Om Shri Shankar Bhagavan Bhyo Namah Swaha. Om Shri Agni Devtabhyo Namah Swaha. Om Shri Mahalakshmi Mataye Namah Swaha. Om Shri Mahavishnu Bhagavan Bhyo Namah Swaha. Om Namo Narayanaye Bhyo Namah Swaha. Shri Surya Devta Bhyo Namah Swaha. Shri Chandra Devta Bhyo Namah Swaha. Shri Mangal Devta Bhyo Namah Swaha. Shri Buddha Devta Bhyo Namah Swaha. Shri Brihaspati Devta Bhyo Namah Swaha. Shri Shukra Devta Bhyo Namah Swaha. Shri Shani Devta Bhyo Namah Swaha. Shri Rahu Devta Bhyo Namah Swaha. Shri Ketu Devta Bhyo Namah Swaha. Om Shri Pranaya Bhyo Namah Swaha. Om Shri Apanaya Bhyo Namah Swaha. Om Shri Samanaya Bhyo Namah Swaha. Om Shri Indriyaya Bhyo Namah Swaha. Om Shri Udanikaya Bhyo Namah Swaha. Om Shri Ishta Devta Bhyo Namah Swaha. Om Shri Kul Devta Bhyo Namah Swaha. Om Shri Sthan Devta Bhyo Namah Swaha. Om Shri Gram Devta Bhyo Namah Swaha. Om Shri Mata Pita Charan Kamle Bhyo Namah Swaha. Om Shri Shantiko Devta Bhyo Namah Swaha. Om Shri Panchpal Devta Bhyo Namah Swaha. Om Shri Das Digpal Devta Bhyo Namah Swaha. Om Shri Adi Shakti Durga Mataye Namah Swaha. Om Shri Rundhati Devi Bhyo Namah Swaha. Om Shri Bhadra Kali Devi Bhyo Namah Swaha. Om Shri Santoshini Devi Bhyo Namah Swaha. Om Shri Rudrani Devi Bhyo Namah Swaha. Om Shri Brahmani Devi Bhyo Namah Swaha. Om Shri Parameshwari Devi Bhyo Namah Swaha. Om Shri Ambike Devi Bhyo Namah Swaha. Om Shri Chandike Devi Bhyo Namah Swaha. Om Aim Saraswati Mataye Namah Swaha. Shri Ramchandra Bhagavan Bhyo Namah Swaha. Shri Krishna Bhagavan Bhyo Namah Swaha. Om Shri Hanumate Devata Bhyo Namah Swaha. We all join together as we chant Brahm Gayatri Mantra. Om Bhurabhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा महामृत्युंजय मंत्र। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमेव वन्दनामृत्योर्मुक्ष्यमामृतात् स्वाहा ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमेव वन्दनामृत्योर्मुक्ष्यमामृतात् स्वाहा ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमेव वन्दनां मृत्योर्मुक्ष्यमामृतात् स्वाहा। We chant the 12-syllable mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, 27 repetitions. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Swaha. 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 Om Shri Sarva Devata Devyo Bhyo Namah Swaha. Om Shri Sarva Devata Devyo Bhyo Namah Swaha. Om Shri Sarva Devata Devyo Bhyo Namah Swaha. Final offering. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Mudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Sarvam Vai Purnagvam Swaha. Boli Shri Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Pass the water around the fire 3 times. Om Sarva Papaharam Devam Gangeyam Nirmalam Jalam Achmanyam Chamaya Dattam Grihan Parameshwaram Shri Agni Devtachmanyam Samarpayami. Boliye Shri Satya Sanatan Dharma Ki Jai. So at this time, devotees, before we get into this morning's Katha, we join in this very beautiful bhajan that reminds us, when times are good in our lives, it says, Sukh ke sab saathi. Then a lot of, people will be our friends at that time. Dukh mein na koi. And when we are in suffering, when we are in problems, we ask, who is there with us? Who is there to stand with us? In Shri Shiv Chalisa it says, Mata Pita Bhrata Sab Koi Sankat Me Puchat Nahi Koi. That when we are truly in distress, devotees, and we understand that in the average person's life, the person who lives an average life in this world, the most distressing point in their life is when they realize that the time is coming that I have to leave. I have to depart this world. And at that point, devotees, mother cannot help us, father cannot help us, brothers, sisters, wife, children, friends, no one can help us at that time. That is a road that we have to travel by ourselves. So then we say, Mere Ram, Tera Naam Ek Sacha. And what we say, Antyeshti Sanskar, funeral ceremony, we say, Ram Naam Satya Hai, Tera Naam Ek Sacha. That your name is the only truth. Dujana Koi, none else. We shouldn't wait till that moment, devotees. Remind ourselves this morning. Sukh ke sab saathi, dukh mein na koi. Sukh ke sab saathi,
दुख में न कोई
मेरे राम तेरा नाम एक साचा दूजा न कोई सुख के सब साथी दुख में न कोई जीवन आनी जानी छाया जीवन आनी जानी छाया झूठी माया झूठी काया फिर काहे को सारी उमरिया फिर काहे को सारी उमरिया पाप की गठरी ढोई सुख के सब साथी दुख में न कोई
सब साथी दुख में न कोई
ना कुछ तेरा ना कुछ मेरा ना कुछ तेरा ना कुछ मेरा ये जग जोगी वाला फेरा राजा होया रंग सभी का राजा होया रंग सभी का अंत एक सहोई सुख के सब साथी दुख में न कोई
सब साथी दुख में न कोई
बाहर के तो माथे फाके, बाहर के तो माथे फाके, मन के भीतर क्यों ना झाके। उजले तन पर मान किया, उजले तन पर मान किया, और मन की मैलन ढोई। सुख के सब साथी दुख में न कोई। मेरे राम मेरे राम तेरा नाम, बोलो राम राम राम, 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 बोलो राम राम राम। बोली श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। Devotees, so beautifully we can each chant the name of Bhagwan each and every day in our lives, each and every day, reminding ourselves, all that is around us one day, all the material things that are around us one day will not mean anything to us. And then, only then we will look for Sri Ram to support us. Only then we will look to Bhagwan to support us. No, devotees. We nurture that relationship, build that relationship, the strength of that relationship each and every day. We build that strong foundation. So when that day comes, devotees, it's very easy to make that transition. Very easy to make that change in our lives from the material into the afterlife. So this morning, devotees, as we prepare to read a few lines out of Sri Ramcharitamanas, I ask once more that we clasp our hands, we close our eyes, we bow our heads as we engage in the small prarthana before we begin. Hari Om Varananam Artha Sanghanam Rasanam Chandasampi Mangalanam Chakartaro Vande Vani Vinayako Bhavani Shankaro Bande Shraddha Vishwaswarupina Yabhyam Vinan Pashyanti Siddha Swantasthamiswaram Vande Bodham Mayam Nityam Guru Shankar Rupinam यमाश्रितो हि वक्रोऽपि चन्द्रा सर्वत्र बन्ध्यते सीताराम गुणग्राम पुण्यारण्य बिहारिणा वन्दे विशुद्ध विज्ञान कवीश्वरा कपीश्वरो। श्री रामायण सुमिरन। जेहि सो मेरा सिद्धि हो गणनायक करि वहर बदना करओ अनुग्रह सो बोधि राशि शुभ गुण सदना मूक होई वाचा पंगु चढ़य गिरि वर गहना जासु कृपा सो दया द्रवो सकल करि मल दहना नील सरोरोहस्या तरुण अरुण बारिज नयना करो सो मम पूर्धान सराक्षीर सागर शयना कुंदेन्दु समदेहा कुमार मन करुणायना जाहि दीन परनेहा करवो कृपामर नयना बंदव गुरु पद कांज कृपा सिंधु नर रूप हरे महामोह तन पुंज जासु बचन रवि कहरनि करा सियापति राम चंद्र जी की जय शरण। बोली श्री रामचंद्र भगवान के जय। Last week, devotees, in relating this beautiful katha that engages Kakbhusundaji and Guruji in reciting and relating the katha of Maryada Purushottam, Prabhu Shri Ram, in order to remove the doubts of Garudaji. Kakbhusundaji is telling us about the power of illusion and the qualities of illusion, the qualities of Maya, which we should all be very conversant with. We should all be very aware of these qualities because, devotees, we are all subjected to these qualities and these activities each and every day in our life. Last week we spoke about the three modes of nature, three gunas: Rajogun, Tamogun, Satogun. And last week we were only able to deal with these three in our katha, but I do hope that those who were engaged in that satsang, in that service, have a deeper understanding, better understanding about how these gunas affect us on a daily basis and how they work. And I did mention that all three of them work in tandem. They work together. So Satogun cannot exist without Tamogun, Rajogun. And same for the other two, cannot exist without the others. But understanding that even when we are in the mode of serenity and peacefulness in the material realm, we are still subject to the other two gunas. We are still subjected to the mode of being emotional and the mode of being ignorant, lazy, etc. Only when we transcend the material realm can we escape. Can we escape, going from being peaceful to being emotional to being ignorant, etc. Only when we transcend that material realm, devotees. And this is what Kag Busundaji is explaining to Garudaji. So we'll repeat this Chaupai because last week we were only able to do half of it. So we listen back to the Chaupai and then we'll go on to hear what Kag Busundaji continues to say. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama. Jai Shri Rama, everyone. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama, Jaya Shri Rama.
गुण कृत संय पात नहीं के को न मान मद तजेयु निबेहि बोलो श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम
Jaya Jaya Rama, Jaya Shri
जौवन ज्वर के नहीं बल कावा ममता के ही कर जसुनन सावा श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम जय श्री राम श्री राम जय जय राम
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
श्री राम जय जय राम जय श्री राम गुण कृत संय पात नहीं के को न मान मद तजेयु निबेहि श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम जय श्री राम. So last week we spoke about the three gunas. Gun krit sanya pat nahi kehi. So that's all we dealt with last time. The three gunas. Then he goes on to say, Ko na man mad tajiu nubehi. He says, who is there who abhiman, arrogance, pride has not influenced? Who is there that has not been influenced? Your life has not been influenced by pride and arrogance. Who has not been affected by these two qualities? Now there's a difference, devotees. And I always remind devotees that everything has good and bad, all depending how we use it. Even the quality of pride, there's a good part of it, there's a bad part of it. The good aspect of pride means that we take a pride in what we do to make sure that we do it to the best of our ability. When we present ourselves, we get dressed in the morning, make sure, our hair is well combed, that our face is washed well, etc. And we present ourselves very nicely. This is not arrogance, devotees. This is trying to be our best. Trying to be the best version of ourselves that we can be. Again, taking a pride in our appearance, taking a pride in our jobs, what we do, taking a pride in our homes, how we keep our homes, taking a pride in everything that we do. This is not bad. This is pride in a good aspect. But devotees, what happens if we let that pride get away? If we let that pride get away, devotees, then pride takes over. We have to keep it under control. We cannot let that pride tell us, oh, you take a pride in how you look, now you're looking better than everybody else. Now this is runaway pride. It's the difference. The difference between presenting yourself to the best and thinking, now that I'm better, I've become better than someone else. This is a runaway pride. And this is what Kaagbu Sundarji is speaking about. Whom has these qualities not affected in their lives? At some point in time or the other, devotees, we get a sense that, I'm better than this person. I can do this better. Devotees, it's not for us to think like this. If we can do it better and we can help someone to make them better, then we do that. But don't go around with the feeling that, I am better, I'm superior to this person. No, devotees, because then we are dragging ourselves down. We are dragging ourselves down. We don't want to take steps backwards in life. If we want to reach a destination, if we want to reach a goal, and we are taking steps backwards, then what are we doing? We are not doing ourselves any favors. So this Kaagbu Sundarji is saying that. He says, Javan jwar kehi nahi balkawa. He says, when a person is young, and we say the arrogance of youth, whom has this fever not affected in their lives? When we are young, you'll hear devotees saying, as they get older, I realize the nonsense I used to do when I was young. If I had the sense that I have now, back then I wouldn't have done half of the stuff that I did. Right? Many times I will hear this statement, and of course, I'm not immune to this. I'm no stranger to this. Because, in your younger days, you feel that, you're invincible. You can do everything and anything. We call this the arrogance of youth. Kaagbu Sundarji is saying, whom has the fever of youth not affected in their lives? Then he says, Mamata kehi kar jasuna nasawa. He says, who has not been affected by mamta, by attachment to worldly things? Who has not been affected by this mamta, this attachment to material things? And he goes on to say, devotees, let us hear in Chaupai. मच्छर काहे कलंक न लावा, काहे न शोक समीर डोलावा। बोलो श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। बोलो श्री राम जय राम, चिंता शापिनी काहि न खाया, को जग जाहि न व्यापी माया। बोलो श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। बोलो श्री राम जय राम, Kagbusunda ji goes on to say, Machar kahi kalank na lava. He says, who has not done wrong in this world because of envy? Who has not done wrong because of envy? That we become envious of someone, then you know what happens? We start to bad talk them because of envy. We may have been the target of envy. We may have envied ourselves, envied someone else. But devotees, I strongly discourage people from engaging in bad talk. From engaging in bad talk. There's no reason, devotees, absolutely no reason for us to sit and talk bad about someone else with a different person. Absolutely no reason. If we have something to say about somebody, we think they're doing something wrong, then we should go to that person and say, you know, I think you're doing something wrong. We help them instead of talking with somebody else about what we think they're doing wrong. This is a total waste of time. It's a total waste of time. Time that is so precious to us, and we take it and do what with it, devotees? That's something that I strongly discourage at any time. We should never do this, devotees. Avoid it at all costs. But Kagbusunda ji is saying, who has not done it? Who has not done it? Who has not been affected by that quality of envy? He says, Kahi na shok samir dolava. Who has not been affected by a blast of grief, sadness? Something happens in our life that brings us great amount of sadness, great amount of grief. It's a very beautiful bhajan, devotees, that tells us about this and reminds us of whom we should go to. Whom we should go to, devotees. Bhajan says, इधर झूम के गाई जिंदगी, उधर है मौत खरी, उधर है मौत खरी. Says that one moment we can be very happy, singing and having a good time. And then the next moment, there's disaster, there's problems, there's grief, there's sadness. कोई क्या जाने कहाँ है सीमा. Who can understand this puzzle, this great phenomenon of life, devotees? उलझन आन परी, उलझन आन परी. That life becomes a very great puzzle. So we ask Bhagwan, कानों में जरा कह दे, कानों में जरा कह दे. We ask Bhagwan to whisper into our ear. We ask Bhagwan to tell us what, devotees? कि आए कौन दिशा से हम. Where did I come from? What is my identity? Who am I in reality? कि आए कौन दिशा से हम, तो प्यार का सागर है, तो प्यार का सागर है. तेरी एक बूंद के प्यासे हम, तेरी एक बूंद के प्यासे हम, लौटा जो दिया तूने, लौटा जो दिया तूने, चले जाएंगे जहाँ से हम, चले जाएंगे जहाँ से हम, तू प्यार का सागर है। घायल मन का पागल पंछी उड़ने को बेकरार, उड़ने को बेकरार, पंख है कोमल आँख है धुंधली, जाना है सागर पार, जाना है सागर पार। अब तू ही से समझा, अब तू ही से समझा, राह भूले थे कहाँ से हम, राह भूले थे कहाँ से हम, जो प्यार का सागर है, जो प्यार का सागर है, जो प्यार का सागर है। We say to Prabhu, अब तू ही से समझा, that you are the one who understands, you are the one who knows. Bhagwan, राह भूले ते कहाँ से हम, where I have forgotten, where I have lost my way in life. Many times, devotees, we ask ourselves, we hear about all these different types of experiences people have from a psychological point of view. They say sometimes, you reach in your 40s, you reach in your 50s, and you have a midlife crisis. You kind of lose yourself. You kind of want to go back into the 20s and relive some of those years. Why do we experience these things, devotees? We have regrets about what we did and what we didn't do. And sometimes find life just going around in circles, that not really getting anywhere. How do we get over this, devotees? How do we become victorious each and every day? This line tells us, Ab tu hi se samjha. That God alone knows the answer to this puzzle, to this difficulty that we are going through. As such, each and every day, this is why we say we pray every day. We pray every day for guidance. We pray every day for direction. Not anything material, devotees. Not anything material. Just, Bhagwan, please guide me. Please protect me in this life. Material things will come and go. But when we make right decisions, when we make right choices, what happens? Our life becomes enriched. Our life becomes better each and every day. And this is what we ask for. Kagbhu Sundarji goes on to say a very wonderful statement. Chinta sharpani kahi na khaya. He says, who has not been bitten by the serpent of worries? Boli Shri Ram Chandra Bhagavan ki Jai. And those of you who know me very well, you know how I speak about worries. It's another waste of time. Sit down and worry. Worry about this, worry about that, worry about the next thing. So all I simply ask devotees, after you finish worry, anything change? Anything became better after you worry? Worrying is a negative aspect of thinking, devotees. a negative aspect of thinking. We change that worry time into thinking time. Thinking about a solution rather than worrying about the problem. Rather than obsessing about the problem, if we stop and say, no, let me think about a solution instead. This is putting your mind to work in a positive way, rather than allowing the mind to be negative, which the mind will tend to do. The mind will tend to do this. The mind will go in that general direction of being negative. As such, if we don't work, as we say, swim against the tide or go against the grain, if we don't do this, then we'll fall trap. We'll fall prey to what the mind wants us to do. And we'll sit down worry. We'll sit down worry, and then we waste that time. Just as we engage in talking bad about somebody else, we waste that time, we waste that breath. The same way, when we sit and just worry, then what are we doing? So Kagbhu Sundarji says this, Chinta sapini kahina khaya. Then he says, Ko jag jahi na byapi maya. And who has not been overcome by this great maya, this great illusion of Bhagwan? Boli Shri Ram Chandra Bhagwan ki jai. So devotees, our Katha will not continue next Sunday, but the following Sunday when we do our Sri Ram Navami celebration, we'll continue Katha from Ramayana that morning. Next Sunday we'll be dedicating to Devi Mata. This morning I'll finish Katha at this point because we have a few birthdays to... And I lost my paper. Here we go. So today we have celebrating Sherry Ramdeen. Also celebrating this week, Leela Ramprasad. That's Rajesh, for those who don't know, it's Rajesh's mom. Also this last week, my godson, Dylan Motilal, and also a wonderful devotee from the UK, from England, in Kamini Norris. Those are the ones that I'm aware of. If anyone I've missed, please do excuse us. And we'd like to offer this kirtan, which has been requested on behalf of all who are celebrating a special occasion this week. Hari Sundar Nanda Mukunda Hari Narayan Hari Om Hari Sundar Nanda Mukunda
Hari Narayana Hari Om.
So we all know this kirtan, devotees, very beautiful, very popular kirtan. So let us all use our voices. Hari Sundar Nanda Mukunda Hari Narayan Hari Om
Hari Sundara Nanda Mukunda Hari Narayana Hari Om
Hari Keshav Hari Govinda Hari Keshav Hari Govinda Hari Narayan Hari Om Hari Keshav Hari Govinda
Hari Narayana Hari Om
Hari Sundar Nanda Mukunda Hari Narayan Hari Om
Hari Sundara Nanda Mukunda Hari Narayana Hari Om
Hari Keshav Hari Govinda Hari Keshav Hari Govinda Hari Narayan Hari Om Hari Keshav Hari Govinda
Hari Narayana Hari Om
Hari Sundar Nanda Mukunda Hari Narayan Hari Om Hari Sundar Nanda Mukunda Hari Narayan Hari Om Banmali Murli Dhari Govardhan Girvar Dhari Banmali
Murli Dhari Govardhan Girivardhari
Banmali Murli Dhari Govardhan Girvar Dhari
Banmali
नित कर माखन चोरी गोपी मन हारे नित नित कर माखन चोरी आवो रे कान्हा रे गोकुल के प्यारे आवो रे गावो रे नाचो रे रास रचावो रे हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंदा हरि नारायण हरिओ हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंदा हरि नारायण हरिओ हरि केशव हरि गोविंदा हरि नारायण हरिओ हरि केशव हरि गोविंदा हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंदा हरि नारायण हरि ओम हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंदा हरि नारायण हरि ओम बनमाले मुरली धारे गोवर्धन गिरिवर भारे नित नित कर माखन चोरी गोपी मन हारे नित नित कर माखन चोरी आवो रे कान्हा रे गोकुल के प्यारे गावो रे नाचो रे रास रचावो रे गावो रे नाचो रे रास रचावो रे गावो रे नाचो रे रास रचावो रे हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंदा हरि नारायण हरिओ हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंदा हरि नारायण हरिओ हरि केशव हरि गोविंदा हरि नारायण हरिओ हरि केशव हरि गोविंदा हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंदा हरि नारायण हरिओ हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंदा हरि नारायण हरिओ 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 हरि नारायण हरिओ। बोली श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय महाविष्णु भगवान की जय। So very happy birthday to all who are celebrating during this past week and all who have celebrated a special occasion in their lives. So at this time, devotees, we'll engage in our final arti. So those who are performing puja at home and you'd like to perform arti, please go to your altar, perform your arti there. If not, we all stand in reverence to Prabhu as we engage in Shri Ramayana Arti. Om Sajan Chavarti Sanyuktam Vahaninayojitam Maya Deepam Grihani Deveshu Trailokyam Timirapaham आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की आरती श्री रामायण जी की
कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की
गावत ब्रह्मादिक मुनि नारद विज्ञान विशारद शुद्ध सनकार विशेष और सारद बरनी पवन सुत की रति आरती श्री रामायण जी की आरती श्री रामायण जी की गावत वेद पुराण अष्टदश चाहु शास्त्र सब ग्रंथन को रस मुनि जन धन संतन को सरबस मुनि जन धन सार अंश सम्मत सबही के आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कले तललित सिय के गावत संतत शंभु भवानी गावत संतत और भक्त संभव मुनि विज्ञानी व्यास आदि कवि बर्ज बखानी काग भुसुंडी गरुड़ के आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कले तललित सिय के कलिमल हरानि विषय रस फेंके सुभग श्रृंगार मुक्ति युवती की दलन रोग भव मूरिया में की दलन रोग भव तात मात सब विधि तुलसी की आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कले तललित सिय के आरती श्री आरती श्री रामायण जी की आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कले तललित सिय के आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कले तललित सिय के आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कले तललित सिय के कीरति कले तललित सिय के कीरति कले तललित सिय के मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल केशव माधव हरे हरे बोल मुकुंद माधव मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल केशव माधव हरे हरे बोल मुकुंद माधव हरे हरे बोल बोल हरे बोल हरे हरे राम राम बोल कृष्णा कृष्ण राम राम बोल कृष्णा कृष्ण बोल
राम राम बोल
कृष्णा कृष्ण बोल
केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल
मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल केशव माधव हरे हरे बोल मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल केशव माधव हरे हरे बोल केशव माधव हरे हरे बोल केशव माधव हरे हरे बोले श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय. So at this time, devotees, if you do have flowers, please take a flower in your hand. We all clasp our hands, we close our eyes, we bow our heads as we engage in our final pratana to end today's devotion. Once more asking the choicest grace and blessings of Bhagavan to be upon each and every one of us, our principal devotee today, those who are celebrating special occasions, and all who have joined in devotion. We humbly ask Prabhu to teach us, to show us, to guide us, to direct us in our lives so that we can do everything in the most correct way, the most positive way, leading ourselves to higher and higher stages of spirituality, of peace, of contentment and happiness. We all pray together. Harihi Om. Mantrahinam kriyahinam bhaktihinam janardanam yat pujitam mama deva devi paripurnam tarastu me. Om vahanam na janami visarjanam pujam chaiva na janami shamyatam parameshwaram. Tvameva mata shapita tvameva Tvameva bandhu shasaka tvameva Tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Om asato ma sadgamaya tamso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. He Sarvashaktiman Sachirananda Nirakar Nirvikar Sarvadhar Sarveshwar Sarvavyapakantariami Ajaramar Nitya Pavitra Shrishti Karta Ko Barambar Namaskar hai. He Paramatma Bhavishya Vartaman Dukhyo Ka Kashta Haran Karke सुबुद्धि को प्रकाश करके जिससे सबका मंगल होए. ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम. भज गोविंद गोविंद गोपाला भज गोविंद गोविंद गोपाला भज गोविंद गोविंद गोपाला भज गोविंद
गोविंद गोपाला
ओ भज गोविंद गोविंद गोपाला भज 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 गोविंद भज गोविंद गोपाला सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। वृंदावन कृष्ण चंद्र की जय। उरेसा जगन्नाथ की जय। बोलो रे भाई सब संतन की जय। सियापति राम चंद्र की जय। बोली श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। जय जय सीताराम। आसन लीजिए। प्लीज हैव योर सीट्स devotees. So just a reminder that from Friday, April the 1st, our period of Basant Navratri will begin. And of course, as usual, we observe at the mandir here all the sessions of this first Navratri, first major Navratri, I should say, of the year. And it also coincides with our reopening of the mandir to devotees to come in and to participate with us. And as I mentioned last week, and we didn't even think about it, that when we had to close the mandir, very shortly after that, we started streaming. It was for that Navratri in 2020. Now, Navratri of 2021, we are welcoming our devotees back. So, 2022, sorry. Backwards 1 year. The 2022, yes. 2 years later, and this, for the same occasion, now we are reopening. So I think Bhagwan, has his plans for us. In reopening the mandir, definitely we will see some changes in how our programs will run. And we are not going to alienate any devotee who is wanting to participate from home. Everybody will still be able to participate in our virtual services. Everybody will still be given the opportunity to do the offerings as we are doing, to make your offerings of, chandan, flowers, essence, arti, naivedya, dakshina at home, and also to perform havan with us to Devi Mata during the auspicious period of Navratri. So do not be, discouraged in any way that reopening the mandir will change any of that. All of that will still be available to devotees at your home who is desirous of participating in this way. And of course, we are very, very happy to welcome our devotees back physically into the mandir, to lend their energy and their spirituality also in the mandir to make the programs, even better than they have been. One caveat to that is that we are asking members and devotees to come into the mandir, but we're also asking them to be aware of the dangers of the COVID virus still. Reading an article yesterday that, since the mask mandate has been lifted, there's a steady increase of hospitalizations due to COVID. So, lifting of the mask mandate doesn't mean that the virus is gone. It means that we have to be more alert and more aware of where we are, and if we feel that the mask is necessary for our safety, then that is what we should do. We should continue to use that mask for our benefit and our safety. So we are asking devotees when they come to the mandir, because again our space is not big, to please wear your mask. If for some medical reason you cannot wear the mask, then we will understand that. But other than that, we recommend strongly that devotees do wear their masks when they come. And of course, if you are feeling ill in any way, we cannot guess what it is. We do not know what it is. So for safety, again, we ask devotees to stay away if you're not feeling well in any way. Stay away physically, that means. But of course, virtually, our programs will continue. All devotees who have been accessing our programs will continue to have the same access as before. So again, there will be some, transition hiccups maybe as we transition back into having devotees in the mandir, just as we had transition hiccups when we started streaming. Now we've got it, almost down pat with that. But now that we are transitioning back to having devotees, there may be some small hiccups. So please bear with us in this process as we make this transition back into having devotees at the mandir. And of course, devotees who are attending the mandir physically, we cannot be camera shy because, there's no way we can avoid the camera going on anyone who may be in the hall or in the line of where the camera, pans in different directions. So again, we're just making people and devotees aware of these things as we move forward. So once more, devotees, God's blessings to each and every one. I do not know, I hope everyone received the Navratri flyer. Our sessions, evening sessions, will run from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And again, we'll try as much as possible to stick to time with that. Our Sunday morning devotions now go from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. 10 a.m. to 12 noon, because now that we're welcoming devotees back, we'll be doing our full puja again on Sunday morning. So now these things will start going back from, instead of 10 to 11:30, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. And again, evening sessions, 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. So we ask devotees to prepare yourself and join with us from Friday. I will be putting out a Facebook post in regards to how to prepare yourselves for offering at home, what you would need, and of course to prepare your Durga Dhar and so on to offer along with us during this period. So once more, devotees, continue to stay safe, continue to be well, and today has become very cold where we are. So devotees in Trinidad, blow some warmth this side, and so we can warm up quickly. So once more, devotees, have a very safe few days until Friday as we start Navratri. We'll see you then. Until then, Jai Jai.